Andy is able to really catch next to his body because he's still in really good shape. But here he's pushing down on my leg. This is so exhausting. And he's like, you can do this sometimes to tire people out and get them to really commit to that kick. And then when he does the same thing he just did a minute ago and moves out of the way, my kick follows him.
I'll do this with virtually everything except for the straight punches.
Right. So he says he cradles and catches everything with slight movement except for the straight punches because it's too dangerous. Because if someone misses, they're going to pop their elbow or hurt their shoulder.
That's the only time I wouldn't, that's the only one I wouldn't pull back on.
This is really good information for people learning how to hold pads.
I get to know you and you get to know how, but on the whole you don't pull back, especially in a straight one.
So he's like, don't pull a punch for the right cross, but you can kind of get slightly out of the way for almost everything else to get people to really commit to their throws.
When Bernard kicks the pads, he looks at the pads and he kicks the pad, so you get a slap. Yeah. And then when I say to him, no, kick me, kick through me, the kick changes almost instantly.
So, training for over 20 years, Andy has trained a lot of people, and he's saying that when people kick the pads and kind of just slap it, he can immediately correct that by conceptually telling them, kick through me. Don't kick the pad, kick through the pad to kick me. And people automatically correct their own kicks. So people conceptually understand this. And so this is what he's training in people by the way he holds pads. But even if you don't have a pad holder like Andy, don't try to just hit the pad, try to hit through the pad.
If you do it in your mind, you'll do it for real. Yeah. And this one here, kick, bang.
So this is a drill he used to do with me back at Lana. It's super hard. You go leg kick, body kick, high kick. And Andy explains even if you never throw a high kick in a fight, having thrown high kicks in this drill will make your mid kicks better.
It's a risky kick, that's why people don't use it very often.
But knowing that you can kick high, or having practice kicking high with that balance will absolutely make something slightly lower better. And you'll also see people who are able to do things in training that under the fatigue of a fight, all of your kicks are going to get lower, your hands start to drop, all of these things, that if you can take everything down a notch and still have power, that's what the kicking higher than you're necessarily going to kick in a fight does. So that when you start to get tired and your kicks are coming lower, they're still more balanced and strong.
Foot on the chin and you can be knocked out. Daniel's first knockout was a Thai guy who was falling over.
So he's saying that even if you don't kick super hard in a high kick, even if you kick someone with just your foot, you can knock someone out because you're getting right on their chin. He's saying also that beginner students who hurt their shins in the fight, you can start kicking with your foot if your shin's hurt, but if you're going to kick with your feet, you want to get the soft spots like on someone's jaw. So practicing the high kick is good for balance and for secondary options.
Constant adjustment.
Yes. And so when we train like this, it's got to be a little bit chaotic. It's got to be a little bit, I've got to come back at you. I've got to come back. Again, mobile punch bag here.
So, this is his philosophy. He says that if you just hold all of your pads out and just kind of stay in one spot or hold for the same combinations, you're just a mobile punching bag. There's no point. So he tries to create a little bit of chaos all the time, and this is what I was talking about earlier, where he's always tapping you back, he's always making you slightly off balance, but then holding for you to bounce back off of that so that it's not a mistake, it's recovery. So here Andy is talking about how he has started having his guys sparring without gear, which I've seen the kids at my gym do, and you learn incredible control by not wearing shin guards when you're sparring. So Andy developed this working with not someone small, but Kim Loudon, who is an Australian fighter who's massive with these super strong punches and kicks. And so Andy started doing no pad work with him. So everything has to be super controlled. And that kind of deteriorated into their sparring. But when you're talking about technical sparring, the way people like to talk about it in the West, of it being very light, it's really controlled when you take your pads off.